Now, for a kid that age, is it good to go all in with wrestling at that age, like Sammy Guevara did, and this kid's doing, or would it be better to play other sports and become a more well-rounded athlete like your daughter did?
Well, my opinion would be better to do more sports. I'll never back up on that. So like Ashley could have done anything. She was volleyball, but she could have name it. There's no sense bragging about her anymore. She doesn't like me to do it, but she could have done anything.
Well, then I'll do it. I mean, she was a gymnast, volleyball, basketball, you name it, she did it. And I can't help but wonder if all those different styles of athleticism prepared her better for wrestling than actually wrestling at that age would have.
It's an argument either way. See, Sasha and Becky started. I don't know what age, but they both started very young too. Um, and Sasha, I mean, the day Sasha signed her contract, Sasha was really good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and,
I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but this all goes back, and I'm no father, so I'm unqualified to talk about this, but if it were my 16-year-old kid backstage at wrestling, I'd have my concerns, knowing what I do and having seen what I've seen.
yeah, but you've seen a lot of the wrong kind.
No, no, that's true. That's true, and it is different now by all accounts, isn't it?
Yes, it's a much more controlled environment.
Yeah, what if it would have been a 16-year-old kid in the dressing room at Crockett in '74? How would you have felt about that?
I would have actually had to ask him to leave. I would have escorted him to the door.
And then you look at other guys like Lesnar and Angle and Goldberg, a lot of the football players too. If they go into wrestling before their careers in other sports, they're not nearly the stars they are either.
Exactly. But that's well, you can only throw a couple people in that. If you look at Charlotte, Brock, and Kurt, I can't think of anybody else that did all that as an amateur. Uh, Ashley was never a gold medal winner, of course, nor was she an NCAA champion. But it's not that she couldn't have been if she, the point is, I think it's better to have a well-rounded athletic background. Yes.
What was Ashley's best sport as a young girl? I mean, she went into volleyball, played Division One at Appalachian, but what do you think was her best sport?
Well, she never played volleyball until the ninth grade. So in 4 years, she took 2 seconds. 4 years, they took 2 seconds and won two state titles. So volleyball, and she was the player of the year. I think 1 or 2 years in the state. But she never started until she was in the ninth grade because I had her doing everything else. She 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 didn't like basketball, but I made her try it. She didn't like well, hell, I'll give you an example of what Ashton showed. So she her high school team was in the state meet, and their diver got hurt, and so as she competed in the 1 week's practice in the diving, and she won.
What in like diving like in a pool?
Yeah, like
She practiced for 1 week and she won.
yeah, because of her gymnastics background.
That's incredible. Whose idea was it for her to compete?
The coach came and asked her.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Wow. See, I look at her, and you say she didn't like basketball. I could see her playing in the WNBA right now if she wanted.
yeah, but she would have everything to do with it. She didn't like it. She was, she was Dennis Rodman. She could rebound, and she just didn't, you know, she didn't want to practice shooting and that. You know what she did? What she was so mad at me at Senator's basketball camp, and at the end of it, they asked all the kids to perform something in front of all their parents on the day they graduate, right? So she walked on her hands from one end of the gym floor to the other and looked at me. And then she did a floor routine across the gym board, looked at me again, like, I hate you for bringing me. But needless to say, none of the other kids could do it. Oh, she won again. It's like one time I was watching her run the mile. And I was so into asking, I was like, stalking her, and I was hiding in I was hiding in the not hiding, I was behind the baseball stands when she was running the track with all the and as a freshman, she was slowing down because she didn't wanna outrun all the seniors. I was out of my mind. I'd say, "Don't tell me what to do. I'll run as fast as I wanna run." Oh, I've got we've engaged in several major arguments about that.
Oh, gee, no kidding. I never would have figured you two argued at all.
Hey, well, you want to you don't ever go to the gym 2 hours a day every day of her life with a personal trainer, not want her to do what she can do just to get along with the girls. God, come on. Give me a break.
Now, Nate, here's a weird story that broke recently. AEW signed a 16-year-old wrestler, Nick Wayne. He's a third generation wrestler. He's the son of Buddy Wayne and the grandson of Moondog Moretti. He's from the state of Washington. The kid's promising. I've seen him on YouTube. Solid worker. But how young is too young to be involved with this?
Well, it's my understanding he's not going to wrestle until he's 18.
Well, right, but he's still working indies. He's still working, in Washington. I mean, a 16-year-old kid working wrestling, being backstage, being on the road. I mean, I don't know exactly how deep his involvement is yet, but it makes me kind of flinch.
Well, you can only hope that people are being respectful and not showing them the errors of our way. Not just me, but I could tell you in 5 minutes if I met him. Maybe I'll have the pleasure of meeting him someday. But you just have to hope that the people are not taking advantage of him and not and just showing them the good side of the business and having a good time and it does not hurt him at all because if he's wrestling at 16, he's just building that resume of wrestling different characters, different kinds of people. So I'm not against it, but you just have to hope that the people that are managing him, whether they be his parents or whoever, I would assume his parents are monitoring what he does, and especially who he hangs out with.
Yeah, really, nothing matches what goes on at an event like that, does it?
Any of their events, Saudi Arabia, come on. You would have thought that show it. So, and how about Lita?
Oh,
Got to give Lita a shout out. Holy cow. Standing O after she gets beat. Standing O. Come on.
we got to get a Lita Charlotte match one of these days, don't we?
Love that. Yeah. And God, I tell you what, I'm dying to see Charlotte wrestle down the line. And I tell you, to me, it'll be, it, I don't know that it'll be bigger than Ronda and her. I think Ronda and her is probably it's such a great match right now. But down the road, I think she has to go against Bianca Belair because I think they're probably the two best athletes in the company. I know Naomi's a great athlete, but I watched Belair last night. Who did Bianca wrestle last night?
Oh, Dewdrop.
Yeah, lift her off the rope and carry her out and give her a finish.
Yeah.
And
No,
her athleticism is just phenomenal.
let me tell you an idea I have for Charlotte, too. Obviously, she's wrestled Sasha many times. Sasha's her steamboat, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And there's only so many ways to repackage that. But remember back in Crockett, where once in a while they'd do something like Magnum against Nikita, best of 7?
yeah.
I'd love to see Charlotte and Sasha best of 7
Oh,
and spread it out over
Well,
a month of TV.
they'll get together again, no doubt about it. The great ones always end up facing each other.
Oh, you and Steamboat. I mean, you guys worked again. When was the last match you guys had? Like 94, something like that?
94.
Yeah, so you guys wrestled on and off for over 20
yeah,
years.
from 76 to 94.
Yeah, 18 years. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
Hey, people never got tired of seeing the Yankees play the Dodgers, right?
right.